Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Pan the Organizer. I have a special guest with me here today, Ivan LaCroix. How are you, sir?
Great. Happy to be here.
Absolutely, and nice to have you on the channel once again. We've been great friends for many, many years at this point. Ivan has over 4 decades of experience in the car detailing industry. He is part owner with his partner, Nick McGurk, of the DIY Detail product chemical producing and distributing company. So they produce some amazing chemicals, but what we're here to talk about today is the rinseless wash. Does that scratch your paint? What is it about? And so Ivan is here to kind of talk about that because he's been an advocate of rinseless washes for over a decade at this point. How long have you been using rinseless washes?
About 25 years.
25 years. So that's how long they've existed on the market. So we're going to talk about, first of all, what is a rinseless wash? What are the good practices, the good methods? And we're going to answer the common misconception that a rinseless wash is going to scratch your paint. So by the way, I have a full tutorial on how to do a rinseless wash on my channel. I'll leave that linked in the description under the video for you guys to check that out. And any products or tools or equipment we're talking about as well, I'll leave those linked in the description again for you guys to check them out. So all you have to do is sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. So first of all, what is a rinseless wash? It is not to be confused with a waterless wash. A waterless wash is a product that you'll spray on your dry surface and start wiping. That could create scratching and marring. That's for another video. But today we're talking about the rinseless car wash. And it just so happens, by the way, that DIY Detail, let me give you a close-up here, have the DIY Detail rinseless wash, which, by the way, by the time this video goes live, you should check out my 2023 Car Detailing Products Awards video, because this made the top 3 rankings for best rinseless wash of the year. By the way, congratulations.
Thank you.
For that. You guys have been doing a lot of great things. They took home many awards, so go check out the awards video. But a rinseless wash, Ivan, basically, what is it? Other than I see that's a liquid in a bottle, is this a shampoo? Is this a traditional car wash method? What is it?
So after 25 years, it is a traditional car wash method, but we're not using it in the same way as we do a soap. So it's very close though. And rinseless washing is more of a technique than a product.
Okay.
And that technique is, first of all, it's not a hoseless wash. So if your car is covered in mud, you've been off-roading, you're still going to have to pre-rinse. Yeah. Just like you wouldn't use your wash mitt on a car without pre-rinsing it, you don't want to use the rinseless wash, sponge, or wash mitt on the vehicle before pre-treating. Now, there are different ways of pre-treating. If your vehicle just has light dust on it, spray on some rinseless wash, let it do its job. And its job is to emulsify the dirt and encapsulate the dirt.
Yes.
So let it do that job. Then you can go at it with your wash media. For those of us that have shops, those of us that have the access to water, well, pre-treat it just like you would a snow foam. Rinse it off, then wash the vehicle.
Okay.
There's no need for 2 buckets. I'm an advocate of the 2-bucket method, but for efficiency, 1 bucket on either side of the car. You don't need a 2-bucket wash. The rinseless wash does its own job in terms of encapsulating that dirt and separating it from your wash media.
So when you have a grit guard at the bottom of your wash bucket, the rinseless wash will help drag all that dirt, encapsulate it, and bring it to the bottom of the bucket, right?
Exactly.
That's why you see beneath the grit guard, if you have a see-through bucket, you're going to see a lot more of that dirt in the bottom.
Yeah.
Because all of that is being brought down on the lower part, so it doesn't get mixed with the rest of your cleaner solution up top.
Exactly. And a good rinseless wash will also clean your wash media to the point of you can have this sponge that's just covered in dirt. You touch it. You don't even need to dunk it all the way. You just touch it to the top of the rinseless wash, pull it up, and it's clean again. Because the way a rinseless wash works, it wants to separate the dirt. It wants to break it away. It wants to take it out of the solution.
So basically, it's a solution that you're applying on top of you're applying it on top of your clear coat, and it helps to clean the vehicle. So it can be for some people, for example, not everybody has access to a pressure washer or a garden hose. They might be in municipalities with heavy water bans or heavy water restrictions, or you just want to save a bit of water as well. You might be an apartment dweller, a condo dweller with no simple access to water. As long as you can fill your bucket with a bit of water, mix your solution, you're good to go. So you're saving on costs, on water,
Yeah.
on time as well.
On time, yeah.
Quicker. Okay.
Yeah. For myself, as a hobbyist, I actually like foaming the vehicle. But as a business owner, I want to have the most efficient, safe wash process I can have. and that is where rinseless comes in. And rinseless does not mean hoseless. So if you have access to a hose, if you have access to a pressure washer, use it. But where rinseless comes in and where the term rinseless is, you don't rinse it off the surface once you wash the vehicle.
So it's not that you never rinse, it's you don't have to rinse at the end of the wash process.
You're actually better not to rinse at the end of the wash process, because what happens is your rinseless wash now becomes a drying aid.
Okay. So it acts as its own drying aid, which means a lubricant
Right.
between the surface and your microfiber drying towel. It gives you that buffer, so you're not marring the surface as much.
Exactly.
When you're towel drying all that off, right?
Right.
So the DIY rinseless wash, we know that there's a lot of good ones out there. Don't get me wrong. There are some that are surfactant based, other are polymer based. I think yours is a hybrid, a mix
Correct,
of both. So what's special about the rinseless wash, and what can you say about the two types of technologies, polymer and surfactant?
So a polymer-based rinseless does a great job. It cleans, it does everything it needs to do, and the polymer-based rinseless really drops a lot of things out of solution.
Okay.
But they're not great at keeping your wash media clean. So that's why I went with a hybrid here. So we have the polymers that do their job in terms of encapsulating and getting rid of the really gritty stuff, drops to the bottom of the bucket. But you'll notice with a surfactant-based rinseless is the water doesn't clear up immediately. But what is in suspension will not damage your vehicle. Think of it as a stain as opposed to dirt that's in there.
Okay.
The other aspect of a surfactant-based is that, like I said, it keeps your wash media cleaner. So as soon as you touch it to the bucket, your wash media is clean, you're bringing it back to the vehicle, and you're safe.
Okay.
So a good wash media for rinseless is one that is absorbent. If you use, let's say, a microfiber mitt, the microfiber mitt, yes, it absorbs a little bit, but it's keeping a lot of that rinseless media there, but also it's keeping a lot of the dirt on its surface. A rinseless wash sponge like this, we have the cuts for the bigger dirt that will pull off. But more importantly is when you take this out of your bucket, you squeeze it. So you're not bringing a lot of liquid to the vehicle.
Okay.
But what you are doing is this is actually absorbing the liquid that's on the vehicle from your pre-treatment into the sponge, taking the dirt away from the surface. So it's taking it and then you're putting it in the wash bucket. It's dropping it out of suspension, out of your wash media, and then you're back to the vehicle.
So when you're using your rinseless wash, basically you're mixing this. The traditional amounts that you'll see is 256:1, which means half an ounce of product in 1 gallon of water. So very economical. And you're mixing that up into your wash bucket. And you're also going to dunk either a traditional trigger sprayer or a pump sprayer, like an IK sprayer or a Marilex sprayer. Fill that up with that solution. That's going to be your pre-treat, right? So you're going to spray the solution on your vehicle before you start mechanically with your wash media cleaning the surface. And that's going to help to start lifting, encapsulating a bit of that loose dirt. You're going to add lubrication on the surface as well. And then I saw you bust this out. Guys, that's, I think, a lot of people are scared of this. So this is the DIY Detail, the Legacy Sponge. I don't know if you can tell here. So it's been cut to have all these little squares that can encapsulate and trap the dirt. They have two sides, a gray one and a red one. You can talk about that. So why do we always see these sponges contrary to what I'm used to, which is the microfiber wash mitts, which, by the way, you can still use, right, Ivan, with a rinseless wash method if you want, like the chenille wash mitts?
Yeah, the chenille mitts you can use.
Okay.
I actually prefer a wool style mitt.
Okay.
Contrary to the chenille, because the chenille with a rinseless, we don't have that second bucket.
Okay.
So the chenille tends to hold on. Microfiber is designed to hold on to stuff.
Very absorbent, yeah.
So it's going to hold on to it a little more. The sponges, and a lot of people freak out when we say use a sponge to clean your car.
Yeah.
Not all sponges are created equal.
No.
You're not using a sponge like this.
That's for the dishes, right?
Right. You're not using a dish scrubbing sponge. You're not using a grout sponge. You're not using a loofah sponge. The sponge is engineered and designed specifically to work with a rinseless wash.
And what does it do? So why are I see all these cuts there inside there, right? People see that. So
Yeah.
what are these for?
So the cuts are for flexibility, first of all.
Okay.
We want to maintain contact with the surface.
Yes.
And we want to use the least amount of pressure possible. Pressure is what causes scratching. Whether you're using soap and water or whether you're using a rinseless wash, if you're grinding away with your wash media, you're causing pressure. The thickness of the sponge allows you to have less pressure points. So in a mitt like this, a lot of people put their hand on the outside of the mitt, which is great. Those people that put their hand inside the mitt, now they have a lot more pressure points. And we tend to, as we're going over the surface, maybe put a little pressure at our fingertips.
Yeah.
That is where you're potentially scratching the surface, whether it be with soap and water, whether it be with rinseless. So the thicker your wash media can be, the better it is.
So kind of more of a buffer there. So it spreads that pressure a lot more evenly on the surface.
Exactly.
Okay.
The other reason for the cuts, like I said, is to be able to follow contours.
Yep.
Because no car is perfectly flat. And the other thing is the larger pieces of grit will get caught in that.
Inside the cuts.
Yeah, they have somewhere to go.
Okay.
And
when you're redunking this inside your wash media,
they're gone.
They get released, so they don't stay trapped in there.
No.
Okay, so they get released, they get pulled down into the bucket.
Yep.
Then you continue washing your vehicle.
Exactly. And the reason we have two sides to the sponge, it's actually the same foam, just two different colors.
Okay.
That's as a tracer for mentally. I start, the top of the panel with the red side, and I finish the bottom with the black, or vice versa.
Okay.
Whichever way you want to use, but it's just to give you a visual tracer of, okay, I've started here, I flipped, I've done down here, then it's time to go back to the bucket.
Okay, got you. So you sprayed your pre-spray or your pre-treat,
Right.
let that dwell a bit. Then you start dunking your wash media inside there. You get it to a point where it's barely dripping wet, right?
Right.
You don't want it like completely evacuating water.
No, just
Why
on
is
the
that?
verge of dripping.
On the verge of dripping.
If it's too wet, first of all, you're wasting product. But secondly, if it's too wet, the sponge can't do what it's supposed to do, which is absorb the dirt off the car. So now it has an overload, and you're not allowing it to do its job.
Okay. So you'd be doing your entire vehicle. If you're working maybe in direct sunlight, it's possible to do panel per panel, right?
Right.
Clean and dry immediately and then move on to the next panel.
Exactly.
And if you work in good conditions or in the shade, then you can clean the entire vehicle and then towel dry at the end.
Exactly.
So we know that the rinseless wash acts as its own drying aid or lubricant. But if people want to add a bit more pop, a bit more gloss while they're towel drying, can they still apply a quick detail around
definitely.
that? Okay.
Yeah.
So it will still work.
Oh, definitely.
Like you guys have the ceramic gloss
Exactly.
in the DIY detail lineup, so you can spray that on top of your rinseless wash, right?
Yeah.
And then you towel dry, so that's going to boost things even more,
Boost it and make it even easier to dry.
even easier.
But a rinseless, the other aspect of it that is really interesting is even if it dries on the surface, you're not creating water spots. In our case, you're creating polymer spots.
Yes.
Because the polymers win over the surfactants in that case. So you're creating these polymer spots that just with a damp towel will wipe away.
Okay, so there's no real water spotting, so that will help to prevent water spotting issues as well.
Right.
And like Ivan said, because I do sometimes do some testing outside just to see how they perform, and you do see those little spots, but like you said, those are not water droplets of minerals. Those are actually the polymer deposits, and they just wipe away with your damp towel, and it just leaves a perfect finish on there.
Exactly.
So when you're done towel drying, that's it. The car is actually clean. But to answer the question, why would you say that rinseless washes are not scratching the surface? Because you think by rubbing your media on the vehicle, you're scrubbing all that dirt and grime into the clear coat, thus creating scratches. That's what the people who haven't tried rinseless washes believe. So
Right.
how do we debunk that? How do we explain why a rinseless wash does not scratch the paint?
It's no different than your soap and water.
Okay.
So your soap and water, we pre-treat with a spray. We foam the vehicle, we rinse it, and then you start washing.
Yes.
That is doing the same as pre-treating with the rinseless wash.
Okay.
And if the vehicle has a heavy accumulation, again, it's not a hoseless wash, it's a rinseless wash.
Yes.
So if you have heavy accumulation, use your intelligence. We know you have it. You're
Yeah.
watching this channel. You must be intelligent. Spray it on, let it dwell a few minutes, rinse it off, and then start washing.
Absolutely. So if you come back, you had some fun with some friends over the weekend, you went through a mud rally with the Jeep in the woods, and the car is caked with a meter thick layer of mud. Obviously, as you wouldn't wash your car with a traditional shampoo right on there before without rinsing it, well, the same applies to a rinseless wash. You would pre-rinse the vehicle. Again, rinseless wash. It doesn't mean that you never rinse. It only means that you don't have to rinse at the end of the wash process.
Exactly.
So common sense, like everything, is absolutely needed.
Yes.
Another thing that I like, Ivan, about rinseless washes is they're very versatile. Some people forget that it's not only to clean the paintwork, right? That dilution ratio, especially for DIY detail at 256:1, you can use it for multiple things, both inside and outside of the car.
Right.
Name
So-
a few of those.
Interior cleaning, spectacular interior cleaner, great glass cleaner. You just maintaining your wheels. You wash your car every week. You don't need to go out after your wheels with a very caustic chemical. The rinseless wash does a great job at that. A clay lube, that's another very popular one. So those are all items you can do with a rinseless wash. If you only have one detailing chemical, the rinseless wash is by far the most versatile of them all.
And when you say interior, can you use that on vinyl, leather, rubber, plastics, all the interior surfaces?
The whole interior.
Okay. And you'd use that same 256 to 1 dilution.
Yeah, no need to change the dilution ratio. If it's safe for your paint, it's safe for everything else on your vehicle.
That is totally right, because that clear coat is actually a bit, although it's hard, it still mars pretty easily.
Yes.
So if the rinseless wash can do a great job, well, it helps for the interior as well. So this here, does it leave, because some of them leave a bit of polymer protection behind to increase that. Some have gloss enhancers or some add a bit of protection, not super durable, but it won't really alter the properties of the coating underneath. But sometimes they do leave a film of something. How is it with the DIY detail? Does it leave anything
absolutely
behind?
nothing.
So nothing, no gloss enhancers, no, just a clean surface.
Right.
Okay.
So we call it clean and shine.
Yes.
The reason for the shine is it lets your paint shine through.
Okay, so that makes sense. So nothing left behind there.
No.
So is there any tips that you like to share with the rinseless wash as far as DIY detail is concerned? Any cool tips or tricks that people might not know?
Well, first of all, actually measure it. Don't glug glug. Too much is going to give you problems. You're going to get streaking. You're going to get all sorts of weird phenomena happen if you're using too much of it. So conserve your chemicals. Use the least amount possible. Don't be stressed. If you're using the proper technique, and rinseless washing is not just a product, it's a technique. And once you learn that technique, you'll be fine. Like, when we were kids, our parents would give us a hose, they'd give us some dish soap and wash the car.
Yes.
That, we were washing the car. Our technique wasn't necessarily good. We've adopted techniques that make it safe for us to wash the car. Pan's car is right in front of us. It's been coated for 2.5 years now.
Yes.
You can't find a scratch on it. You can't find any marring on it, and he actually drives the car.
Yes.
So yes, you can maintain your vehicle at home, whether it be with rinseless, whether it be with soap and water. They're both traditional washes as far as I'm concerned.
Yes.
And they are not waterless. Waterless has its own unique créneau, has its own
Niche,
niche. Yeah.
Yep.
It has its use. It's not for everyday washing.
And of course, guys, this goes again to what your personal preference is. I'm still a traditional 2-bucket car wash guy because I like the foam, because foam does do a difference when you know which one to use. So pH neutral, yes, will add lubrication. Doesn't really clean, but if you're having the alkaline or acidic ones, they can do some cleaning. So again, it depends which snow foam you're using, but I like the traditional method. Although I wash my car twice weekly, when it's only lightly dirty like we see it now, a rinseless wash is a lot quicker. I don't have to bust out the pressure washer or garden hose, so that works super well too. Some people only swear by rinseless washes. They live in perhaps climates that don't accumulate as much dirt and grime, and that can be an easy way to maintain, or they have access to a pressure washer or a garden hose, and they can at least pre-rinse the vehicle if it's too dirty, but they still like to do the rinseless wash because it's quick, it's efficient, and it is safe. Is it still the same with the DIY detail? I remember you explaining me a few years ago that the rinseless washes encapsulate the dirt and grime in kind of a Zwitter ionic cloud. So it's not positively charged, it's not negatively charged. It's kind of this neutral suspension.
Yeah.
Is it the same with the DIY
Most
detail?
of them do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's how it works. So it creates kind of this encapsulated, so this bubble around your dirt particle that is suspended, lifted off of the surface. And that's why that's one of the reasons as well that you're not going to scratch or mar the surface. It's that cloud, when you're wiping it away, it's on its own kind of suspension, right? So it's not doing some grinding on the clear coat.
Exactly.
You've encapsulated that
Yes.
with a Zwitter ionic.
Exactly.
So that's still the same with the DIY
Yeah,
detail.
definitely.
Fantastic. So guys, DIY detail, go check out Ivan's channel with his partner Nick McGurk if you want to see rinseless wash being used all the time, even for full preps of vehicle before applying a ceramic coating. If you want to see the whole 9 yards done with rinseless washes, I highly encourage that you go check them out. I'll leave a link to their channel. Again, any products, tools, equipment, all that good stuff, I'll leave those linked in the description. I hope you enjoyed this. Share the videos, by the way, with friends and family, especially those that might not have a full understanding of what a rinseless wash is, or if they're scared that it'll scratch the paint. Hopefully this answered the question. And in the meantime, guys, don't forget, keep it tight, keep it clean, and we'll see you on the next one.